Hey everyone, my name is Julian De La Rosa. I'm a UTA for KN251. Very nice to meet you if we have not met already. Today, I thought we'd go over the histology and looking at the microscopic images of all the tissues that will be on your exam. I will say this is probably the most difficult part on the exam in my opinion, as they are very complex, but once we look at it, it's not too bad. Let's go ahead. For those who don't know, once we get to the study area of your mastering section, Pearson Mastering, if you click on Practice Anatomy Lab, or PAL, you've probably heard this term being thrown around very often. It's a very useful tool for studying. You click on PAL, click on Practice Anatomy Lab 3.1. So once we open up PAL, we're going to go ahead and click on the epithelial tissue section right here. And pretty simple once we start and you look at it.
Oh my god.
We're going to start off with the three main types of cells you want to look at when you're looking at epithelium tissues. These will help you give really big indicators and help you differentiate all these different tissues. So starting off, we have squamous, cuboidal, and columnar. I have these three drawn right here. So right here we have squamous. The way I remember is I say squished. It looks like this squamous cell was once a cuboidal. However, someone sat on it, and now you have a tiny squished cell for epithelium. Next, we have a cuboidal. It's supposed to be shaped like a cube in textbooks. Generally speaking, these are very well-rounded and evenly shaped all around. And last, we do have the columnar. These are very tall cells you'll find in epithelium. Typically, in like the large intestine or other areas of found in, they will have cilia or some hairs to increase surface area for absorption. Stratified and simple. Stratified meaning there are multiple layers. Simple meaning there's only one single layer of epithelium cells along the basement membrane. Simple is really essential for absorption and secretion, and the reason for that is because there's only one layer of cells, it is extremely easy for nutrients, other elements, and molecules to transfer and to cross this layer. Stratified is really more so for protection. Not many things can get through because there's so many significant layers of cells with tight junctions, desmosomes, gap junctions. It just makes it extremely difficult for things to get through. This right here is an image of a venule, which is a very, very small version of a vein. It is the very smallest component you're going to find in your body. For looking at this image, we do see that we do have the blood vessel. We do have some red blood cells flowing through. And we do see the epithelium is lining it, is protecting it, and keeping everything contained. If you look here, this very border of this venule is very, very tiny cells. This allows for red blood cells to release all their oxygen, all their nutrients into this tissue, and for all the tissue to release all its waste back into the blood to filtrate. Key point is to know that these cells are extremely thin for that transmission and absorption. If you look here, openings, border. This border is made of very consistently shaped, same size epithelium cells. This is how you know they're simple cuboidal. It is one layer attached to the basement membrane, and all the cells are about evenly shaped all around. The last example we do have for the simple category is the simple columnar. Columnar, we can think of columns, very tall cells. This is a cross-section of the small intestine. We do know that in the small intestine and in the kidney and in the lungs, there is a lot of swapping of materials like oxygen and carbon dioxide. As you can see, there is a very thin basement membrane here, which all of these long, tall cells will attach. If you look at here, there is a consistent level of the nucleus. This is very important for later, and I'll explain why. And very simple explanation, they're tall columns or cells that are responsible for absorption. This is the last type of simple epithelium cells you will find in the body. This is probably one of the more confusing ones because it does give the impression that there are multiple layers, but don't be fooled, it is still one layer. This is called the pseudostratified columnar epithelium. Very important first step to look at is to look at this word pseudo. Pseudo is a very interesting word, and I have the Google definition for you right here. Pseudo not genuine, or very important, a sham. This is a lie. It is not stratified. It appears to be stratified, although it is simple. Looking at this, we do see very small cells here, very tall cells that go all the way to the top. And it's hard to see here, but they actually all meet here at the basement membrane. It is still one cell. Now the question becomes, can you tell pseudostratified columnar from simple columnar? They are also very tall cells placed here, and I will tell you. Once you find yourself confused, if you look at a simple columnar, you will see the level of the nuclei, the nucleuses found in the simple columnar are almost always at a consistent level, very uniform with one another. If we look at the pseudostratified, we do see all these nuclei are scattered. Some are low, some are very much higher than the others. So now that we finished with simple epithelium cells, we can go ahead and move on to the stratified. Stratified is much different than the simple, as in there are multiple layers of epithelium cells. My rule of thumb is to look at the layer furthest away from the basement membrane. So, for example, if I have layer cells here, we do see that there are multiple cells. So this is going to be a stratified form of epithelium. However, how can I tell what type of epithelium it is? Looking at the basement membrane right here, we are going to look at the layer that is furthest away. Furthest away, we do see these squished tiny cells. My rule of thumb, squished means squamous. So overall, this right here is a stratified squamous epithelium. Another example right here, we have another stratified. There are multiple cells here. Looking at the basement membrane, if you look at the layer furthest away from it, we do see consistently shaped, almost well-rounded, even cells. These are going to be cuboidal. So this right here is a stratified cuboidal epithelium. Awesome. Okay, great. That's all I have for you guys today. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. Feel free to contact me. I know it's hard, first exam. If you ever have any questions, I'm here to help. Other than that, good luck on your exams. Keep studying and read the book. Like and subscribe. I'll see you guys later.